Anywho, I skipped over that so that I could have a fresh drink, nice ice cold Sprite Zero, sat down to watch the strap match. Because we've been waiting on this one. Both men fastened together, left wrist to left wrist with a leather strap. And Drew McIntyre, he made his entrance, all the pomp and pageantry, and then, like Mussolini in Germany. I'm wondering if it gets over in Germany, or does it hit a nerve when they say, like Mussolini?
Very interesting. I hadn't thought of that point.
I'm wondering if they enjoy that part of the song.
What happens when they go to Italy?
Well, I bet they'd enjoy it even less when they, well, all these people, they probably don't really remember Mussolini personally.
Maybe they've seen the photos.
Well, he was in all the papers. But I'm wondering if maybe Grandma or Grandpa might not appreciate mentions of Mr. Mussolini. Nevertheless, again, they're a big, it's clobbering time. Punk's over, they're cheering. That's where Michael Cole mentioned that, he's never lost a strap match, Punk. He won the OVW title in a strap match. So they've opened up on references. And also, I heard several times people being referred to as professional wrestlers by the announcers, for whatever that's worth. But anyway, on this strap match, as soon as Punk gets up on the apron, and he's not even gotten the ring yet, McIntyre, boom, from behind, knocks him to the floor and jump starts it, and drops him on the German desk and gets some heat in the ring, and gets the strap and starts whipping Punk. And then Drew put the strap on himself and Punk. And I guess that's the way they do it these days, but the only detail, the referee didn't actually hook them up at one point. The referee didn't actually hook them or strap them in, so to speak. They could let go of the strap. It used to be there was a buckle and you could buckle it on, but nevertheless, Drew put the strap on himself and Punk and started whipping the shit out of him again. And here's where what did you think about the lights in the corners? It was nice for a visual, I guess. In each corner had a red light and a green light. So McIntyre was red, Punk was green. If they touched the corner, it would light up as a visual illustration to people. But I guess in a building that big, you almost do need something for the people way in the back, because they wouldn't have been able to see the touching behind the back things and all the other stuff.
But they count along. I thought it was a nice visual. Nothing wrong with it.
But somebody needed to be a little quicker on the switch before they got the hang of it. Because right at the start, there was a little delay on the thing. But anyway, so boom, boom, boom. He's kicking the shit out of Punk, and out of nowhere, Punk hits the GTS and starts whipping McIntyre. And then they went back and forth. And again, a spot I love is when Punk tries to pull out a table and McIntyre stops him and puts the table back under the ring. I love taking the table away from people as a heel move, because they just... Anyway, at one point, I guess it looked like Punk got hard-weighed over the left eye a little bit, and McIntyre worked on it. And then they went back and forth again with the old strap spots. If one guy was in charge and the other guy got a chance to pull him into the ring post or whatever, they would do it. And then, Punk pulled the table out again and set it up, but McIntyre hit the Claymore. And then he was sold and finally got up and hit 3 turnbuckles, but Punk drug him into a chair that he had set up in the corner. And they're chanting CM Punk. And so finally that, at least if they were going to do it, this is a new one for the table. The table's sitting there at ringside, and they're in the ring, and Punk goes for his bulldog, and McIntyre just scoops him up and drops him over the top rope through that table. So at least you didn't see that come until the end. I haven't seen that one before. Have you?
I don't think so.
And it makes more sense than this other shit where they're hanging on and teeter-tottering. But nevertheless, then they started doing the spot where McIntyre picked Punk up over his back and he would touch a buckle, but as he turned, Punk would touch it. And so both the lights would go on, and they did the second buckle the same, and then the third buckle the same, and then they started fighting to the fourth buckle. And how closely were you listening to the commentary where they explained the rules?
I can't say I was listening terribly close to the commentary about the rules.
Well, I mean, when they were breaking the count or whatever, because I saw a couple people on Twitter were confused, like, what the fuck?
I mean, they definitely, I think, indicate, well, actually, now that I think about it, they may not have said that you're allowed to do something to the downed opponent and not lose your place because you're the person in charge at that moment.
Well, or they may have said it like that where nobody would fucking be able to figure out what it meant.
Exactly.
Yes, but the way we always explained it was if your opponent strikes an offensive blow, it stops your count. So in other words, if I pickle you and you're down and I go and I touch one buckle and two buckles and three buckles, and I can come over and kick you in the head and go to the fourth buckle, but if I come over and you punch me in the stomach, that clears my fucking turnbuckles. See what I'm saying? Offensive move clears the fucking count of the guy that has the count going. So when they were struggling to number 4 and they started fighting again, it reset everything. Which we were saying they weren't going to do that finish, but we didn't say they weren't going to do it as a fucking spot. So then they had a big staggering 1-2 hockey fight type of thing, double kick. Punk got the sharpshooter and McIntyre both tapped out and grabbed the ropes, but neither one counted. So when McIntyre passed out, Punk got 2 turnbuckles, but McIntyre stopped him. And then McIntyre pulled the bracelet out of his tights, had the AJ and Larry bracelet, and put it on his wrist and hit a claymore and got 3 turnbuckles, but Punk pulled him into a GTS. And then Punk started to go to a buckle, but saw the goddamn bracelet and said, "Ah, fuck it," and picked him up and gave him another one. And then he got 2 turnbuckles and then went back and gave him another go to sleep, and then the third buckle and another go to sleep, and then took his bracelet off and went back and touched the 4th turnbuckle with the bracelet. And that's why the count did not stop in between those, because it was the guy in charge doing the offensive blows to his opponent rather than the guy that's down stopping him. So I thought it was great that, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, he hit him with his finish 4 times, 1 time pretty much for every fucking buckle. So McIntyre's got an out, and at the same time, Punk goes over, which he kind of needed to there because of the, the amount of that. They said that was the first WWE match he's won in 10 years. So, and he's got to do one. He's got to win one every 10 years, I think, at this point, doesn't he?
Well, I think he'll win another one before then. My biggest problem, I like the match, but I thought it was too drawn out in between each turnbuckle. And a couple times I think Punk had more slack than he wanted to at that moment. So he had to almost make it look like he didn't. Yeah,
kind of, oh, golly, I'm straining, and there's not a lot of strain in the thing.
That's my only complaint, but I think it told a good story. And, I mean, the only thing is it almost looked like the end of the story. But I guess Drew, if he wants to... Drew can't let that go. He'll have to do something. So,
well, see, that's the thing. We don't know yet what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw because it ain't Monday night yet. But, again, you can't think that Drew McIntyre is going to let this go. But at the same time, if he had fucked Punk in this instance, then you start taking more out of Punk's bank account in as far as goodwill and his over account than you really want to. He had to come back and show that he was going to do something. Whether that was the the exclamation point on it or not remains to be seen. But I thought it was a heck of a strap match considering the modern day standards that we are living with these days for everything. But you know, Brian, there's one modern day standard that we all can live with and be proud of.
Digital porn.
Well, okay, two. The one I was going to mention was the fact that even for a very little amount of money, you can have the great artists of all music in your head at all times, where you can hear Beethoven and Brahms and Bach and Bachman-Turner Overdrive and everybody in between. That's probably what Punk was doing all the way to Berlin on the plane, was listening to motivational music on his Raycon everyday wireless earbuds. I bet you he's got some. Because he's a man who likes the finer things in life, but he remembers his humble beginnings, and he doesn't want to spend a lot of money if he doesn't have to. Don't you think that these would be perfect for a man of the sensibilities of CM Punk?
I think this would be a fine addition for him and even his enemies. Maybe this could be a way to bring them together. He can gift Drew McIntyre a nice brand new pair of Raycon earbuds in English. A nice brand new pair of Raycon earbuds.
Or he could just leave you completely out of it and I'll take over from here. Because, folks, right now, the Raycon upgraded everyday earbuds. You get active noise cancellation, ergonomic design, multi-point connectivity. You can pair with two devices at once. And normally, you can only do that in an adult theater after midnight. They're available in a vibrant supply of colors, a variety of vibrant new colors to complement any and all skin tones. I was not even aware that they had come up with new skin tones. But now Raycon's on top of it. If you're one of the purple people from Panama.
Purple people?
Well, they said new skin tones, new colors to complement any and all skin tones.
They're talking about new colors of headphones.
Yeah, no, earbuds.
To complement, not to directly copy. There aren't purple people.
Well, I thought they were trying to camouflage them, like if it looks like your skin, like a Band-Aid. See, you know, and a lot of the minorities got screwed on Band-Aids. Because not only couldn't you hide them, it wasn't flesh colored, it stood right out. And everybody knew if you had a fucking zit or whatever.
Use a Band-Aid for a zit? Use a Band-Aid for a zit?
Well, if you want to cover it up.
On your face?
Well, maybe it's on your finger and you don't want your girlfriend to go, hey.
You got zits on your fingers?
But, well, you never know what can happen when you're young. But besides that, I thought the idea of having earbuds in skin tones was so you could put them in your ears and nobody would know that you're listening to your earbuds, so they would just think that you're goddamn ignoring them.
It's a compliment, the same way like the right color shoes could compliment your shirt.
I didn't know that anybody would notice what color shoes you're wearing if your shirt is nice enough. Well, but I'll tell you what, you can hear all about this and more on your everyday wireless earbuds from Raycon because you can listen to podcasts on it too. And they're weatherproof and sweat resistant, so you can just be a disgusting sweat hog bathing in your own filth and you can still hear just fine. And the 30-day happiness guarantee means that you will be happy for 30 days. And after that, you're on your own. We don't want anything to do with you.
And don't forget about Christmas.
And don't forget about Christmas. It comes every year.
Stock up now so you don't forget at the last minute.
Oh, that's right, because these are stocking stuffers. Because they're small, and you can just take a pair of these. You got them in your hand. You can hold them in 2 or 3 fingers and walk up behind a woman and just pull the back of her stocking out and stuff it right down there. And she will thank you endlessly.
She will kick you in the face. That is not what you should do. We're talking about stockings on the mantle, but we're talking about the Mickey mantle of earbuds, Raycon.
Well, there you go. I got that reference because they hit harder and farther. That's right. And they'll use a baseball bat on you if you get out of line.
And their liver is black.
What about... now, come on. It was only dark brown. Men get shortchanged. They have no stockings to be stuffed. Folks, if you're wanting to get everyday earbuds for the man in your life, just get a pair and stick them up his ass. because he's not wearing stockings, so you got nothing
Once
to
again,
fucking...
let's focus on reality. Let's focus on the ear. Let's focus on the ear canal, the experience of listening to fine tunes or a great podcast with Raycon, whether it's a comedy show with lots of laughs and wacky things or something deadly serious.
Something deadly serious like this. Get a pair of these and shove them in your man's ears. Go to buyraycon.
Shove them nowhere.
Shove them nowhere.
Shove them in your own ears. Those are the only ears you're allowed to shove into without prior permission.
That would be painful if you shoved them into your own ears. If you shove them in somebody else's ears, it won't hurt you. Anyway, but you can go to buyraycon, that's BUYRAYCON, buyraycon.com/JCE today. You're going to get 15% off your Raycon order and free shipping. 15% off and free shipping. They will charge you nothing to bring these things to you and hand them to you or put them in your box, or just leave your front door open the day you expect them and somebody will walk by and pitch them in. Buyraycon.com/JCE, 15% off free shipping. The everyday earbuds, they sound better than the big box hoity-toity models that charge you out the ass. You're not going to pay the price of an AEW wrestling ticket for these. They're affordable for the whole family. As a matter of fact, if you've got twins, get a pair and put the right fucking bud in the one's ear and the left bud in the other one's ear and see if they can communicate to each other. It's a scientific experiment.
No scientific experiment. At this point, just be selfish, ladies and gentlemen. Buy it for yourself. Raycon, what's that promo code, Jim?
JCE.
And we're going to go back to Germany.
Back to Germany. When I'm calling you. And we had
real quick, as we are recording before we get back to Germany, just because what you just did reminded me of it. Something's going around right now on Twitter. Tomohiro Ishii has posted a picture on his blog of flying on Tony Khan's private jet after Capital Collision alongside Leo Rush. So Tony's taking all the boys up in his jet now.
What was Capital Collision?
I have no idea.
Well, they were in Washington so it was last week's Dynamite is what it was. And Leo Rush and Ishii made the fucking... Are you sure he wasn't using them for, like, his stewardesses?
I don't know about that, but let's go back to Germany.